Hello to all members of SUGChennai. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I welcome you all to the webinar on Sitecore XM Cloud Embedded Personalize out of the box with our special guest speaker, Amit Kumar, who is a seven-time Sitecore Technology MVP. I thank you all for joining us in this exciting webinar, and I welcome and thank Amit for sharing his expertise and taking time out of his busy schedule. Now, let's dive into this great training session. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sitecore user group Chennai and everyone who is joining in the evening time over the weekend. So, in today's session, I will be explaining about a Sitecore embedded personalization. Wait a minute. Let me quickly stop and share the screen again. Wait a minute, some issues are there. Yes, sorry. So, I will be covering about a Sitecore XM Cloud embedded personalization. So, where I will be explaining about a what is Sitecore XM Cloud also because maybe you are aware, but I thought that I will touch upon some high level information about XM Cloud. Then it's easy to correlate with the what are the personalization capabilities are coming up with the Sitecore XM Cloud. Then I will be discussing about the key features and how it is different from our traditional XP analytics and the personalization, and when we need to use the in session and the session based personalization, and how you can select which one needs to propose when you are doing any solutioning, and limitations, what are the limitations are coming with the embedded personalization. And also I will be covering about a demos where I will be showcasing you the out of the box rules which I have used it, and it will be helpful for you also to understand how to use that. So this is a brief introduction about myself, so you can connect me, you can scan the QR code and you can connect with me. And if you are having any ideas or discussion, and if you wanted to discuss or co-present also, and I am open for collaboration also. So coming to the introduction to the Sitecore XM Cloud. So as you aware about that, Sitecore XM Cloud is a SaaS offering. SaaS means that you are not going to do any installation or anything. You can just procure the license or a subscription from the Sitecore and start utilizing it. So it is different from the traditional XM XP implementation because you are not having access to the system where you can deploy the binaries and everything. It's a SaaS product. Either you can deploy it, but it can break your upgrade also because it's a SaaS product and it's not recommended to install the any binaries into that. And because it's a headless CMS and it's meant to use as an API endpoint to build up your application, or you wanted to share the data with any of the channel like a mobile kiosk, and if you want to implement any digital experiences, you can utilize this. And it is also coming up with the Sitecore Experience Accelerator, but here it's called as a headless experience accelerator. So you will be not getting the component which you used to have in the MVC XXA. Here you will be mainly getting a uh, tenant-based site management. Also the site collection you can easily made it, and multi-site management will be easy. And to manage the multiple site, Sitecore also is providing you the multi-site add-on that you need to utilize in your Next.js code base. So that way you can manage the multi-site management. And coming to the component, right? So Sitecore XM Cloud is also providing you the front end as a component where you can go and build up the component. So that is meant for a business user who are having a hands-on on the XM Cloud and very used to the front end as a component. It's a drag and drop, but someone who are having a knowledge on the styling, and then it will be easy to use it. And it's a Jamstack ready means it's a API first approach. So from the day one, it's a headless. So it's you can consume these API endpoints to build up any application, and also it is providing the API endpoints to update the data. Also, generally in MVC, we need to run our code base within a CM box to update these things, right? Which generally increase the load. So, but it is giving you the admin API, so you can update the data from any tech stack. It's just a API only, GraphQL endpoint. And also the personalization will be the embedded. Means embedded, why we are using embedded here is that it is coming out of the box, the basic uh, rules, but not as extensive or customized, which you can do in XMXP. So you will be getting the content delivery via a GraphQL. So you need to be aware about that when you are building with the application with the XM Cloud. So you will be not having the content delivery. So you will be uh, getting the data via edge content delivery, that is a GraphQL endpoint and the CDN enable. So you do not need to explicitly buy the CDN product to place in front of your content delivery. And also you are not going to do you are not going to have any access to your site, right? Because you will be deploying site to your, either you will be deploying into the Vercel, Netlify or the Azure app. So like you are having access to the your IES, those type of things will be not coming here. And inbuilt component library, as I was explaining, front end as a component will be there. And also Sitecore is providing you the uh, GitHub repository, which you can use it as a starter kit for your application, but you need to change the things, but it is giving you the building block to accelerate your development. So there is advanced pages editor is came with the XM Cloud, which is intuitive interface. It's totally different from the uh, experience editor, and the changes are keep coming into this. Like someday you will find some icon left and it will be moved to somewhere. So you need to be very used to that to get experience on that. Faster deployment and development and the development deployment. Faster deployment, I said that you will be getting a uh, basic accelerator so you can utilize to start your application. Deployment is why faster is that if you are using the GitHub, then the Vercel is the preferred hosting provider for XM Cloud. So they are, there is a Vercel plus GitHub connector is there, so you can connect your GitHub repository via XM Cloud Deploy app, and you can directly deploy your application from the XM Cloud. And also, whenever any publish or anything is happening, the build will be automatically initiated, and the latest content will be available to your website. So that way, you do not need to set up the CI/CD pipeline. But if you need to sync the data from higher environment to lower environment, then you need to separately uh, run the pipeline, which will be automatic. So it's depend upon your requirement. Customer portal means that you will be getting a cloud portal. With the help of that, you can enable the SSO also with the SAML based integration. So you do not need to write any code. How generally we will do the configuration setting changes, and if you need to do the any custom role mapping, we will be deploying the federated authentication code bases. So those things will be not coming here. You can just use your key, access key, and the other things, and you can enable the access with your organizational identity provider. Site management I already covered. It will give an inbuilt insight means that it will be giving you the out of the box page tracking details, so you do not need to write any custom code to track it. If someone is just wanted to see the how their pages and sites are performing, then it will be easy to use. Inbuilt form, it is also giving you the XM Cloud Forms interface, that is a separate app where you can build the multi-stages form, and also you can redirect the user when user is submitting the data. And here the one thing you need to understand, you are not able to store any user generated content and data into the Sitecore. How you usually do in the Sitecore forms, where when you will submit the form, the data generally stored in the XConnect XDB. That is not happening here. You need to provide the webhook when any submission is happening. The data will be payload will be available to your custom endpoints. That way you are going to build up. And these forms are the WCAG compliant, so accessibility have been taken care. Any question till this point? No. Okay, thank you. So now moving to the embedded personalization. So embedded personalization means that it is coming out of the box with the uh, Sitecore XM Cloud when you are buying the Sitecore XM Cloud license or subscription. So you do not need to buy any separate license. It will be coming out of the box. So you do not need any separate or different subscription model to use the embedded personalization. So it will allow your business users or content authoring team or marketing team to use the out of the box audience segmentation. For example, if I am coming to your website within a 10 days, right? Display this. So those type of out of the box segmentations are coming. So you can apply the user experience into that. And here you need to create the page variant. So when I will be showing you the demo, I will explain how it's different from the XMXP. And it will be giving you the real time stream data collection, like a 30 days of user behavior which is coming out of the box. Those you can utilize that, not beyond that. And edge functions for dynamic page swapping means generally when you are using the ASP.NET MVC, so what happens that when user is hitting your page, the request is coming to your CD server, then the Sitecore assemblies are doing the magic, and on the basis of user behavior pattern, it will connect with your XDB also and bringing up the personalization, right? So here you need to think of that you are publishing the data to the edge. So there is no code you are pushing from your XM cloud instance to the any uh, app or a server. Your code is different. Means head application is different. Why people are keep referring head because it's different from the CMS. So it's not connected with the CMS. So that is not being published, right? So your content is coming from CDN and that will be consumed by your web application. So there is a middleware is provided by the Sitecore, which will do the magic in swapping the page variant. So I will explain that also in upcoming slide. So you will be getting a preview mode, means how you used to do the preview of your personalization in the XMXP. Same way you can see that how the your content will be behaving when personalization will be happening. And site and page analytics for tracking performance. So it will be you will be getting a site and the page level tracking, and also how your individual page variation, right, which you wanted to project to the user is performing. That also you can track that. So now coming to key feature of the embedded personalization. So it will empower your user journey. Suppose if you are not having the use cases which is very complex, then it's better to utilize embedded personalization, and based on your need you can propose and buy the full-fledged license of the embed XM Cloud, Sitecore Personalize and the CDP. So key feature is that the page-based personalizations are there. So you can create up to 10 page variants, and within a one you can add a 5 conditional conditions. And component level personalization means within a page variant you can apply the component level personalization, so that if your component is experience editor or a page editor friendly, then only you can apply it. How you usually do in the MVC, you are using the Sitecore provided uh, ASP.NET MVC tag, which are starting with the Sitecore, right? Same way here you are using the JSS Next.js SDK. So if you are utilizing those components, then you will be getting the experience editor. So you need to be very careful when your front-end team is doing the development. So you need to watch that they are not using normal div tag to render the content. So if those things are there, then you will be not able to apply personalization there. Audience segmentation. So you will be getting out of the box segmentation to personalize the things. And real-time analytics. So it's a in session means current session based things are there, like I have visited previous page, from which site I am coming, my current location is which one. So those are called in session, and the session based is only 30 days of data is there. So it's very limited. So you need to think about that. Uh, if you are relying on the old data, or you are having the segmentation from a different businesses, right? Then you need to buy a separate CDP licenses. So coming to the technical aspect, so if you are seeing it here, I have displayed the embedded personalization as a subset of the Sitecore CDP and Personalize. Why? Because you are getting the tracking also from the CDP, which is not a extensive tracking, and personalization you are getting from the Sitecore personalize, which is giving you the handful of personalization use cases which you can utilize to implement a simple and a straightforward user journey. So that's why we can treat it as a subset of a Sitecore CDP and Personalize. So now I will be coming to the how the embedded personalization is happening uh, in a technical way. So as you are seeing here is that there is a one Sitecore SaaS box is there, and within that you are having the XM Cloud. So as I was explaining in the initial slide that the content will be publishing to the experience side. So you are not having any content delivery server separately. So and all the media files and everything will be used if you are not using any DAM or anything. So everything will be served from the CDN itself because it is having a snapshot of your content items and the media items also. And there is a concept of a editing host. So editing host is nothing but a rendering host only, like a app only, which is having your Next.js code base. So when you are doing the experience editor, opening the page in the experience editor in CM box. So CM box is nothing but your server only, which is having a Sitecore assembly and the application is installed and you are able to view the page. But in case of a Sitecore XM Cloud, it's a SaaS product, right? So how it is happening that Sitecore automatically will provision a one app for you, which is having your code base. So how it will get your code base? Because you have already done a connectivity via Sitecore XM Cloud deploy app that from your CD instance will take a which code base from which branch. So it will utilize that and it will provision a editing host for you. And this editing host will be used when you are opening the page in your Sitecore XM Cloud CM role in Experience Editor, or you are opening the page in the Pages Editor, which is the advanced Experience Editor, you can say that. But this is not accessible to you outside of the, it cannot be available for the end user. So you need to set up your own host, which I am trying to explain you in the this bigger rendering host. So this you need to host it by yourself in a Azure or in a Vercel or Netlify or whichever is your preferred hosting provider. You need to load it. And also here database is master, so people will generally use this for the preview if you need to build up. And you are seeing here a CDP and Personalize, so it will be coming as embedded to you when you will be buying it for a subset. So how it is happening? So if you have worked with the headless implementation in the next years, so generally you are having the SSR and the SSG builder there. SSR is the server side rendering. SSG is a static side generation. So every side will be generated at a build time. So based on your inventory of the pages, you need to decide that which pattern you need to follow. So for example, let's say I will be taking as a SSR example first. So suppose that when the page request is coming to the user, right? When user will load the website or navigate to a new page in the browser, then browser will send a HTTP request to the your Next.js application, right? Which will include the cookies and all the HTTP header. So which later can be utilized in the personalization condition. And then browser will request then in this browser request will be sent to the Next.js application. The Next.js will runs all the, oh sorry, what happened? So then Next.js will run all the registered middleware. So if you have seen here is that I have shown header, A/B tested, restricted, rewrites. So these type of middleware you can generally having in your Next.js application. So middleware is the server side code base which you can use if you want to manipulate any content, or you need to, before the output is being reached to the user, before that if any manipulation needs to be done, then you can utilize the middleware. So then Sitecore, as I said earlier, Sitecore is giving you the personalization middleware, right? That is some code base which is there. So what happened that when the request reached Next.js application, then all the registered middleware module, which includes the personalization module also, this middleware first will send a GraphQL API call to the experience edge, because your actual content, which is a published content, is residing here, right? And then it will fetch all the data, including the with the variant. So suppose, for example, you have created a two-page variants. So currently, maybe you are not able to understand what is page variant. The page variance is nothing but a different types of your pages with different content which you want to present to the user. For example, if I am the default user, display this page. If I am the, for example, a coming from my UTM parameter, display this page, and in that page I have having some hello message, welcome back, or something like that. So those you can treat it as a page variant. So it will fetch all the page variants from the experience edge, right? If it is configured. If there is no personalization variance is configured, then page is not found, then the middleware will exit and the normal page generation will continue as if, because in SSR the page will be generation whenever the request is being sent. So then what is happening that the personalization middleware uh, send a experience edge request to get the data. So but when you are doing the SSG, so the only difference is between when the your middleware is making a call to the experience edge. So in the case of a SSG, when the personalization middleware will take off the control, right, then it's checked that any pre-rendered, like at the time of build, the data is dumped to your Next.js hosting provider, or you can say the app. If any pre-render page variants for this page is present or not, right? If yes, it will skip this request to get a data from the experience edge, and page building activity will be skipped, right? Otherwise, it will fall back to the standard SSR. It will fetch all the data. So that is the major difference between a SSR and SSG call. So like suppose, if, for example, if you are having a more than one page variant, right? So then how the middleware will decide which page needs to load to the user, right? Then middleware sends another request to the this piece of a CDP and personalization, right? To detect if the current visitor matches any of the audience configured for this page. Because when you are configuring a rule, for example, if I am having a variant wherein I need to check that if I have visited the website within a 10 days or not, right? So that condition will be checked by a this one, right? And it will send a intimation to the personalization middleware that key which condition have been matched, and on the basis of that, this will decide that which page variance needs to be visited. If first is missed, then it will check the another page variance and then check the data according to that. So with that process, when the condition is satisfied, then it will combine the response and it will send to the end user. So that way, the page level personalization will be happening. Any question in this?
No, no.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So now the feature comparison. So here I have tried to explain about what is the difference between the embedded XP and the CDP and personalized. So data source in the embedded is a session based, but in XP and the CDP is the historical. AI ML support is not there in embedded and the XP, but now you are having the Sitecore stream, right? So I have to update this. So you are having the Sitecore streams, you can utilize that, and the CDP personalized will be having a AI ML support, because when you are using the full-fledged the CDP and personalized, so you are getting the dynamic segmentation of the user. Scalability is SaaS for CDP and personalized and embedded, but in XP case, it's totally depend upon your infrastructure. Integration means it's uh, easy, you can say that, but in XP, if you need to do any type of integration, you need to write a lot of code. So that way, it's limited. CDP and personalization integration is easy because you will be uh, using the API endpoints to do that. So real-time data, all of the options are providing, and data retention, which I was explaining, right? That is the major limitation. It's a 30 days, and the XP is the long term, and the CDP personalization is a data lake, so you can store as much as data. User experience support is simple. XP is a little bit complex because you should be aware about that which condition needs to be used. So that way it's not a more user friendly, and CDP personalized is also a complex. Why? Because you are getting a full fledged unless and until you are not very used to the interface and how to utilize uh, this application end to end, then it seems to be very difficult. And this is a engagement chart, right? So when you are going to verify any functionality against uh, CDP personalize or embedded personalize, so you can always go and look into this tabular or comparison. So then it will be giving you easy information how you can go and implement the use cases based on your requirement and such, and provide a feedback to your client what why you are proposing a embedded personalization, why you are proposing a full-fledged. So this is from the Sitecore itself. So let me ping you this metrics also, right? Sorry, wait a minute. Now coming to session-based versus historical database personalization. So what is the difference between a session-based means in session and how it is different from the historical? So here I have tried to give a high-level information how you can differentiate that. So here you can consider session-based as a embedded personalization. Historical means which is depending upon the data which is stored in somewhere, that you can treat it as a historical, and it is a Sitecore CDP and personalized component will fit into that. So session-based personalization is a single session like a current session. If your journey is ended, that's done. But the data is limited to the 30 days only. But you can store the data as long as you wanted in the Sitecore CDP because it's a data lake. Right? So you can push as much as data. No long-term data retention, like limited to 30 days only, like a current session data. And here you can have a advanced segmentation. So let's understand what is the major difference in between. So for example, if you are having a client which is doing the e-commerce website, it is having a stores also, and they are running the hotel business also, and they wanted to implement a 360-degree customer view. For example, if their customer is buying a something related to the uh, you can say that the foods, right, which are you can say that a cold drinks, or they are buying a some healthy foods, right, and they are purchasing at your offline store. Now there are some users which are going into their hotels and they are buying the clothes or booking a hotels which are in the hilly area or a beach area. Now they wanted experience that when the user are going to these two places of their businesses, we are promoting our website, right? Then when they are coming back to here and they are logging in, right? So I need to give them an offer. right? So in those scenario, you are cannot utilize the embedded personalization because you don't know at last when they have did the purchase in their offline store and they have booked the hotel. So in those cases, you need to go with the Sitecore CDP. So what you need to do that when you are buying the goods at the offline store, so you are having the CRM system, right? So that CRM system needs to push the data to the CDP, but that facility is not present in when you are not having the full-fledged CDP because you are not getting any API endpoints or any things where you can go and edit the user attribute. Okay, because it's embedded with XM cloud. And when you will push the data, so you can go to the CDP and you can create the attributes and you can create a view of the user. And then from the same way, you need to push the data from your hotel booking system to CDP. So when the both attributes are there, so you are get having all the details like what which one is the buying behavior of user, right? So those attributes are you have tagged with your user. So now you have created a personalization custom personalization rule and you will create that if user previously bought a these things then display this offer to the user, right? So those controls you cannot do with the embedded personalization. So that's why it's ideal for immediate, right, and dynamic adjustment to user experiences, right? Real time you can do that, but here you can implement a complex use cases which I was explaining. So that's why on the basis of your use case you can go with the any product. Why and when to use the XM cloud embedded personalization, right? Why and when? So why use means it's the real time personalization, right? Improve engagement. If you need to give a quick solution to your client and showcase the capability of the XM cloud, you can propose this. And ease of use, you can showcase that also. When to use embedded personalization, where when you are having a session based real time quick deployment, because you are not creating anything, right? You just need to publish the content. So when you are working with the CDP and personalization, right? Personalization, then you need to create your complex personalization rules, right? And you need to publish that same way in the XM, XP, traditional MVC. If you are building some custom rules, you need to build that. And when you need to implement the page level personalization, in those cases, it will be helpful. When to consider Sitecore CDP and personalization. So suppose if you are having a complex use cases, you need to build up the custom segmentation as I was explaining, and where you want to store a data from a different sources into your Sitecore CDP. So in those cases, you need to utilize the Sitecore CDP and personalization, where when you cannot use the uh, embedded personalization. So use case for embedded personalization. So it's easy as I was explaining, only the page level, simple and easy, geolocation based, how user is interacting, event based personalization. You can implement that and utilize the out of the box segmentation. So now let's move to the demo. So let me ping you the site.
Look, I have a question on this.
Yes, yes, tell me.
Uh, for embedded personalization, where does the data get stored? Because
So
for
as
C,
see, I shown you right in one of the slide like as a subset, right?
yeah,
So it will be storing in the Sitecore CDP. So there will be some instances is for there, right?
okay,
For you for your website, right? Which when you are buying the subscription for XM Cloud, so
okay.
some set is available for you to utilize it.
So this is using data lake only, part of data.
Yes, yes. You are not getting the full fledged because you are not getting the access to the CDP portal. You will be not getting access to the site Personalize. But
Okay.
with your site context ID, right? It is storing it.
Hmm.
Because
Okay.
when you are aware that, right, you need to create a point of sale, right? That is a
Yes.
unique for your site. So that way it is doing that. So uh, I just pinged a one URL.
Yeah.
So what I did that I created a this website, right? So if you will access that, you will see a different message here, right? So if you try to open it, you will see that,
Yeah.
right? So I will show you how it looks like. Let me log in here. 1 minute. So that is a simple use case. That is a mm, geolocation based personalization. So earlier you remember when we need to implement that, we need to buy a geolocation subscription, right? To implement that. So but here it is embedded.
So for me, I can see Asia region.
Yes, yes. Because I will show you how I have implemented that. So that's why. So when you will log into this, right? So for example, let me refresh it. Which side it is? Sometimes it behaves very weird. Yes. So what I did that. So when you will open the page in the pages editor, right? So here one thing you need to be careful that when you are going to implement a personalization in XM Cloud, so you need to utilize the pages editor, right? So when you will come to the pages editor, you will be getting a this type of view, and you are seeing these signs, right? It means that personalization is implemented on these pages. Okay, and then you will click here. You will be getting a different. You will be getting a different variants if you have created it. Otherwise, you can go and you can create a personalization rules. So when you will come here, it will give you the, you can say that a thing. What happened? Where it went? See why it's open this. See, now it is giving me the different view. Wait, demo one. It needs to load this, right? So you will get like this. So if you will go to the condition, you are getting a these menus. So some are from the CDP and personalize also you can push it here. So if you will see that the date, device, geo, and user interactions and visits. So these are the out of the box. So let's quickly move to the geo, right? So if you will see that geo, you can add this condition from which country. So currently region is supported only for the US. So that is another limitation is there. If you are trying to implement for a different country and its region, so you will be not able to do that. So that way you can just define the country, means states in within your country, then it will do the personalization. And another country one is that if the visitor is in this country, so that way you can also implement for a specific country also you can target. And this is a region, like I implemented like a Asia, Europe. So that way, that's why you were able to see a different uh, country here. Region specific messages are there. So let me quickly show you how what I did there. So home branding. So The major difference here is that, so if you will let me quickly open again, so you can edit also. So one thing is totally different from the, like here I have mentioned the during the current visit, it belong to Asia, right? So these are called the page variants because you are creating the different version of your page. Now the main thing you need to think of, wherever you can do the personalization, right? It will give you this sign, green sign, and wherever it's implemented, it will be amber color, right? And you cannot implement a two different rules and change your page with the two different condition. Like in XMXP, when I was opening the page in the pages editor, right? Experience editor, I can implement here also that if the person is coming from a Asia region, do this, and if my user is a coming in different component, I can implement that if my current user previously visited, then change this message, right? Agreed, right? But here you
Sure.
can't do that. Why? Because you can have only one condition. That is a major difference. So if you are having a one page, like a landing page, for example, you need to give a returning message to the user, you will create a different variant. And if user is coming from a different UTM parameters, you will different a different page variant. So like that, you need to implement the different page variant. And here it's a easy, like if you will go here and select a your component, right? Like this. I selected the component or not. Wait a minute. What happened? Right. So you can create the different content for that component and you can select it. Like how we used to create a data source item, same way you can create a data source item, right? So what I was trying to explain you that, like a geolocation, like I explained you, right, how to do that. So same way you will be having a visit, right? So suppose if you will, I will open the visit page, portfolio. So what I implemented here is that, and also sometimes you need to refresh it to see the details. So visit, what it will do. So if you will open the visit page, why it is not giving? Okay, I haven't opened. So I have created a this. This is a default one. So I was trying to do something here. So if I will build that, so what visit means that, so you can filter also from here. Condition. What happened? Why it is not filtering? Okay, like this. So visit, right? So like visitor has visited the page within a 10 days, right? And then total number of page views compares to this number of views. So like these are the visit related rules. First page, user visit has started to a this page, like user have landed on this page, right? That compares to this one. So that way you can implement a your microsite campaign. Visitor has visited a page name, so you can delimit the number of pages into that. So let me quickly show you condition 3, because long time back I have implemented that. So So this is the next evaluation. So here, like I have implemented that if you have previously visited your site, you can change that condition also. So same way, you are having the user interaction also, right? So for example, if I am loading this services page, right, without the this services, so you are not seeing any, you are just seeing the returning user, right? So but when I am loading with the UTM parameters like previous one, so I have implemented that give the UTM parameter related a message. So for this, what I did that just quickly went to the services page. So UTM campaign, like return user also I have implemented here. So that way you can run the campaign also your website. So those are the simple needs for any of the things like UTM campaign is equal to sale here. That parameter is coming from any social media, and when it will land to your website, you can change the message. That is a in-session personalization. You can do that. And device detection, right? So that is very interesting. So for example, if you are using the things, right, and they're ready to transform your business, right? These things are there. So when you are window user, you will be getting a different messages. So what I am doing here is that, so when I will go to the contact, I will open the personalize, and when I am seeing the windows, right? Same way I have implemented as a device base also. So when the device is changing, so you will say here is that I have changed the content. So these are the simple use cases you can implement with it, like a device detection. You can implement the user interaction. You can implement the visit condition, and you can mention the geo condition also. But how you are having the n number of conditions on your page, right? Then how it is going to work, right? So that also I will explain. Wait a minute. Okay. So this is the simple flow. So what it will do when the visitor is coming to your website, right? So it will to Sitecore middleware, right? It will evaluate the condition. So you remember I explained you, it will make the call to the Edge API to get all the page variants, right? And then it will send the call to the personalization and the CDP to get the segmentation, right? So on the basis of that, the system will checks the visitor against a set of predefined conditions like a page views, location, and behavior. If conditions are evaluated, right, and if it's true, then assign the audience, right, and then display personalization content. And if visitor is visiting the another page also, then again follow the same process. If condition is failing, right, like here the condition is failing, then reevaluate the audience segmentation again, like for a different condition, because you are having a 10 variants and it will be evaluating it. So whenever the any condition is failing, it will reevaluate the other condition. So on the basis of that, the next best page variant which is matching with your conditions, that page will be displayed to the user. This I have explained. Yes, analytics and insight, right? So let me quickly show you. Sorry. So when you are here, right, in your website, so you are seeing here a analyze page. So if you will click on that, it will first give you the site insight, right? How your site is performing. like from where top pages are there, top countries are there, source from which source users are coming more, browser, operating system. Those are the generic which you can do that. And it also will be giving you the page insights, right? How your page is performing. So suppose if your page is having a n number of variants, right? So those things will be coming here. So you can add that also into the view. Sorry, you can add that also into the view, and you can see that how both pages are performing. So for example, if you are doing the A/B testing, right, and if you are doing serving the two pages variants, in that way, this is very useful. So with this way, you can analyze your pages also. So it is a simple one. It is not extensive things because you cannot extract the data out of this. So whichever is coming out of the box, you need to go with that. And here, if you are seeing here it's the 30 days there, right? I was explaining the limitation that there is a limitation of a 30 days. So you cannot go beyond and see the data after the beyond the 60 days, 30 days. So data privacy, right? So because you are using personalization, so you should be aware about the privacy statement. So compliance will be GDPR and CCPA because you are using the CDP and personalization. Data security, like all the data will be transit in the AEC 256 will be encryption is there, and transition will be TLS 1.2. Retention policy, as I said, that personalization embedded is 30 days and Sitecore personalization is 90, and data segmentation is unlimited. Limitation I explained many times, like no AI ML is there, limited number of use cases are there, customization you can't do, API there is no access, you cannot use the trending data after 60 days, right? It's only a real-time personalization. Data retention is limited, like a 30-day only. Page level personalization, you can do that. You cannot go and target any specific component along with the other condition, which I was showing you that you cannot do that with this. So these are the references I will share later. And any questions?
Any questions from anyone? I think we are good.
No.
No
So you
questions.
can scan the QR code and you can connect with me, right? So why? Because if you are having any doubts when you are going to implement that in near future, so if I will be able to help you, if I will be able to help you, then it will be good for me because you will be sharing some use cases which I am not aware of. So that way.
Thanks. Sure. I thank uh, I thank all the participants who attended this session, and a special thanks to our guest speaker Amit for the wonderful session. It was a
Yeah.
great eye-opening experience and excellent demo, working demo actually, where everyone can access it. Thanks for that, Amit. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. Have a nice day
Thank
and
you,
rest of the
every.
evening.
Thank you, everyone joining. Have a great weekend. Bye.